rained, you sure didn't stop, or you'd never get anything done. So, yeah. That's right. But anyway, really, again, want to thank you all for coming out today. And, you know, look around. You're the people who are making the difference. You're the people who are really out there on the front lines, here locally, and that's where we're going to make things happen. And the thing that I'm most worried about is I don't want us to think that just because we now have good national leadership on this, we can't become complacent. Here on a local level, we've got a lot of things that we have to do, and we've got to make sure that we're still doing those every day. People, you know, it's really, the issue I really see is that people don't understand climate science well. And I don't think the average person is going to be expected to. And what we're running into is there's just a lot of groups out there that are trying to discredit the good science, and I've not quite figured out why. And so we really need to work here at the local level, and especially with us being, you know, part of the Mayor's Office and the Division of Sustainability, I think we can help a lot bringing this to our citizens. Mayors from across the country took the lead on sustainability for years. When we didn't have national leadership, they all stepped up and they said, we have to lead this. We have to make a difference. Over 1,000 mayors have now signed what's called the Mayor's Climate Protection Policy in their initiative. That's 1,000 cities, counties, communities throughout the nation. And that's where the leadership has been. So what we really feel that we can do, and we want to help you do, is educate people on climate change. Educate them on what they can do. Salt Lake City has been a leader. We started with Mayor Anderson. I got to work with him for a number of years, and we really were able to put a lot of things in place. Now we have Mayor Becker, absolutely fantastic. Again, nationally leading the charge as to what we can do. I was at a meeting of sustainability directors from all over the U.S. last month. There were 65 of us in the room. Salt Lake City is still considered one of the leaders on sustainability and climate change issues, and it's because of people like you. Just for some examples, Salt Lake City is a Solar America city, one of only 25 in the nation. We're a city where we're really working to find all of the ways that we can eliminate the barriers to having solar power and create ways for it to happen. And to even add to that, 16 of those cities, Salt Lake being one of them, were funded for a second round of action. Only 16 cities in the nation, we were one of them. We do a lot with energy efficiency. The buildings that the city builds have to meet LEED Silver standards for energy efficiency. We provide incentives and incentivize the permitting process for other people who come in and want to build energy efficient buildings. Mayor Becker is doing magnificently at creating effective coalitions with other cities, the county, the state. He's known for how well he works with everyone, and he really is making sure that we find ways that we do things that go beyond our city boundaries, because Salt Lake City is just a small little blip in the midst of even this big valley. We have our Idle-Free Utah campaign. We have our Clear the Air Challenge. And the neat thing about that is we started this just out of his office, working with a lot of our colleagues from different organizations. The EPA has noticed us, and they're now coming and offering to work with us and provide us funding for even more. So you can see this is really moving forward wonderfully. We're working on trying to institutionalize a lot of this, changing our codes to make a lot of these things, you know, so they're going to last. We've got a lot of outreach. We want to educate people, and I really feel like it's working. As you can see from the graph we have down here, after we got the low-hanging fruit, where you see a big drop in our carbon emissions, we're now measuring all the carbon emissions of our municipal operations. and they're going down, and we're ahead of schedule for our goal of eliminating 80% of our carbon emissions by 2050. Now that's just the beginning though. That's just our operations. Next it comes the entire city, and that's you, and that's your neighbors. We have funding from the federal government to do a climate footprint, carbon footprint for the entire city. And using that, we're going to be able to really find ways to reduce the carbon footprint of all of our citizens in the region. So, what we really want to do is try and change the question that's being asked. Too many people are going up and saying, do you believe in climate change? This is not a belief system. It's not a political party. It's not a religion. It's not a belief. It's a scientific fact. We've got to let everyone know, and we need your help. From the city's point of view, we're going to do everything we can, but we have to have you out there. We have to have you lobbying our representatives and senators. We have to have you at the meetings where policy decisions are made, because when the citizens demand it, that's when it's going to happen. We'll be there to help, I promise, but we need you to help too. Thank you for coming.